Welcome to the BrightHR software, your employee management tool for communicating rosters, sharing documents, logging absences, and tracking clocking in and out. You'll be able to use this with your staff, where each staff member has their own dedicated profile page. Within the profiles, we can store more information, things about their employment, things like job titles, their contracted hours, awards, pay rates, things about their personal and emergencies contact details. They can also log absences. We have the annual leave balance showing on all our permanent staff profiles, where they can come in and request their annual leave. There is a drop down to adjust the type of absence. We can look to allocate a day that we want to take leave any notes, and add the absence. This option here will read as request absence for any employee requesting leave, as it will be pending the approval of yourself. This will also then display on the calendar in a bit more of a visual way. The calendar will show you who's off, and the color code will let you know why they're off. We can also filter these absences by the teams to make sure you've not got too many people off on the same day. Our pending requests will do a similar thing in showing any potential conflicts for that time period, where we can approve or decline accordingly. Back on the employee's profile, we also have the functionality to store and share documents. This is where we want to store and share anything relevant to this individual. Things like contracts, job descriptions, medical certificates, licenses, anything regarding this individual employee can be uploaded through here by yourselves or the employee themselves too. Only this employee and those with the higher access will be able to see what's stored in his profile. Over on the left-hand side, we also have the documents function where we can store anything that is admin eyes only and a bit more sensitive, or company-wide and generally available to all staff. We can create folders as I have here, or we can just simply upload files in singular form. We can drag and drop a file in or browse our files. We'll then be prompted with a few questions: who we'd like to see this document, if it is in fact everyone within the company, or maybe specific users, where we can section this off to a specific team or individuals. We can request read receipts, which will give us the timestamp of when the employees downloaded the document, and acceptances as well, which is a button that will give them the option to say I've read and accepted once they've downloaded the document. We can further notify them or set follow-up dates if these are things that have expiries, renewals, or things that we were wanting to review every quarter. We can upload this file and it will get added into the system. We can then continue to make edits with our three dots should we need to edit any of this. The next functions are more around scheduling. We have our rosters and shifts section here, where we can create a new roster, but we can still copy existing rosters if we need. Creating a new roster, we'll need to name the roster. We can choose the duration of the roster and select the start date. The table view will give us all our bells and whistles, so we are going to create this through our table view. We're going to add in a couple of employees to this roster, and you'll see them line up along the left-hand side and the days of the week across the top. Our white boxes are our guaranteed shifts. If your staff are logging their absences through the BrightHR system, those will also reflect in here, so you know not to give a shift on a day that you've already approved the employee to be off. We have a shift for this employee on the Monday. We click into this box, allocate start time, finish times, unpaid breaks, any notes about this shift. It could be location, it could be tasks, it could be contact numbers. We can also allocate a color code if the color code is going to help represent the type of shift this is. If you have an office-based staff, field staff, if you're hospitality and you have a front of house and a back of house, if you have a support business and you have community access as well as in-home support, you could allocate a color regarding that. The color code, once we add the shift, is then very visual on the roster. So it could be an indicator if you need 2 people in the office every Monday that you still need to schedule another shift for somebody in the office. If we do want this same shift for somebody else, whether it's the same day or throughout the week, we can now access on the top left here the Add Manage Shift button, where we will have a library of shifts we've created. Selecting it, we can then point and click on the table where we'd like to assign that shift, and it will place accordingly. We also have our Open Shifts component up top for anything that we want to put out to the team to claim. We can click in line with the date. We can allocate the existing shift or clear it and create a new one. We can choose how many of these shifts we need filled and then allocate it out to the team. It will let you know if there's a shift conflict or absence conflict when allocating it out to the team. We'll then confirm, and this will save up top in our Open Shifts section, waiting to be claimed by an employee. Note that no notifications will go out to the team until you hit the Publish button. So you're able to set up the roster to what you know it to be, hit Publish, sending the notification straight to their BrightHR mobile app, where they can claim any shifts you've put out to them, or accept any shifts if they have the pending shift option, which will be in line with casual staff who have the ability to accept or decline shifts. These rosters will save as you go, whether you have them in an unpublished state or a published state. You can always go back into them to update. The rosters here will really work well with scheduling and planning for the team. If you are looking for capturing real-time data, we do have our clock-ins functionality as well that we'll look into in a different video. A couple of other areas to touch upon are our e-learning courses, where we do have HR courses that we can send to our staff to build on awareness topics. We've also recently introduced some that are specific to manager. We can look to allocate these courses by using the assignment tab. We can then report on who's done what course for our reporting functionality, whether we're assessing via course or individual employee. If we're wanting to access their completion certificates, we can also view those here. The system also allows for pulling other reports on things like the absences, things like the rosters, things like our timesheets. Our payroll section helps filter the information you might need to process payroll, including those reports we just saw, as well as it flagging any information from the profiles that might be missing that could impact your process of payroll. Things like tax file numbers, IRD numbers, bank account details. Back on our homepage, we also have the Bright Lightning functionality, which is a little Q&A spot for any HR queries, which will help flag if you're asking high-risk questions. And Bright Exchange, our marketplace or our advertising tool for you and your business, where you can advertise your services, but also an employee perks section where we have affiliated programs as well as businesses that use BrightHR that look to give offers and discounts that your team can all access through their BrightHR mobile app. The BrightHR mobile app is accessible through both the App Store and the Google Play Store.